Deep, very serious.
For the first time since the 2014 murder of Dan Markel, Harvey Adelson has testified about the murder under oath. At about 10:53 a.m. on July 18, 2014, a silent Prius driving north on Trescott Drive made a left and pulled into the driveway of FSU law professor Dan Markel's home. Dan had just pulled into his garage, coming from the opposite direction on Trescott Drive. But he was on the phone, and he did not close the garage immediately. Instead, a hitman got out of the Prius and approached Dan's vehicle from the driver's side. Dan noticed the stranger on his driveway, but only had enough time to tell the person he was talking to about the presence of a stranger on his driveway. The man approached quickly, pulled up a gun, and shot Dan at close range, hitting him twice in the head. Dan lost consciousness immediately, and he died a few hours later. It took almost 2 years for the first arrest to be made in the case. Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera of Miami were identified as the hitmen and charged in 2016. Soon after the arrest of Sigfredo Garcia, the probable cause affidavit supporting his arrest was unsealed, and the document revealed the detectives' theories, a complex web that led to the murder. According to investigators, one or more family members of Dan Markel's ex-wife, Wendy Adelson, had ordered the hit through a middleman of sorts, Catherine Magbanua. All of the Adelsons lawyered up, and through their lawyers, they issued a joint statement, a press release, as follows.
Open quotation. On behalf of the Adelson family, we continue to send our deepest condolences to the Markel family. Dan's death was a tragedy, and the loss is profound. Although Wendy and Dan were divorced, he was the father of their 2 children, who must now grow up without their dad. There has been a lot of unsupported speculations that the Adelsons had something to do with the murder. That speculation is categorically false. To be clear, none of the Adelsons, Wendy, her brother Charlie, or their parents Donna and Harvey had anything to do with Dan's murder. We respect the process and the enormous amount of work that the Tallahassee Police Department has done in this case. They have spent the past 2 years reviewing every shred of evidence out there. Every phone record, financial record, text message, email, internet search, everything. We understand why the government has put the Adelson family through this type of severe scrutiny, but nothing has turned up that supports this fanciful fiction that the Adelsons were involved. The investigation has gone so deep that it employed FBI agents, undercover agents, and a tip line. There is a reason that the police have not arrested any of the Adelsons. They weren't involved in Dan's death. We are issuing this statement because the media continues to run stories suggesting, without any support or evidence, that the Adelsons were somehow involved in Dan's murder. Again, this is simply not true. The Adelsons were not involved. We share in the hope that those responsible will be brought to justice. Close quotation. On behalf of Wendy, John Laurer. On behalf of Charlie, David Oscar Marcus and Margaret Moss, and Michael Weinstein. On behalf of Donna and Harvey, Daniel Roshbaum and Jeffrey Neiman.
That was in 2016, but as you can see, Harvey did not say anything directly himself about the murder. Neither did he accept Detective Isom's invitation for an interview a couple of days after the murder. Harvey instead remained silent until just recently. He did not testify at any of the trials. His son Charlie was charged in 2022 and his case went to trial in 2023, but Harvey did not testify or even appear in the courthouse to support his son. He did not testify on his wife Donna Adelson's trial, although he was present to give her emotional support. So, when he got up to give a statement during Donna's sentencing, this marked the first time we would all hear Harvey Adelson speak about Dan Markel's murder and under oath. Let's hear what he had to say, and please note that he was put under oath, so his statements could be used against him in the future, if the state so wished.
At this time, I believe that Mrs. Adelson's husband, Harvey Adelson, would like to address the court.
Very well. Do you wish to enter these letters into evidence?
Yes, Judge.
Does the state have any objection?
Your Honor.
They will be composite defense 1 for sentencing.
Thank you, Judge.
Dr. Adelson, please raise your hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes, I do.
You can lower your hand. You may speak.
Thank you, Judge, and respected officers of the court for allowing me to speak. I have been Donna Adelson's husband for over 50 years. My wife sacrificed everything so that she could pour her heart and soul into our children, our grandchildren, and our marriage. This summer was our 54th wedding anniversary, and I had to spend it without her, hand in mind. She has done nothing wrong, and yet is being punished for a crime that she did not commit. I thought we lived in a different kind of world, but I guess I was wrong. I have listened, watched, and sat in the courtroom for the entire trial, and I could not help but scream in my mind by the witnesses that were brought forward by the prosecution who told outright lies. I didn't know that you could lie in a courtroom, but apparently you can. Danny's parents contend that they have never seen their grandchild. But for years they say they've never seen her. But Wendy has shared with me pictures and videos and letters from their visits. They have suffered immensely at the loss of their son, but they also contend to tell lies to the court about our grandchildren. Donna has always been a loving and caring wife and is innocent of the charges. A biased judge and jury were influenced by years of one-sided news pieces and social media.
Doctor, Ms. Fulford, this has nothing to do with the character of the defendant or relates to sentencing.
May I have just one moment, please?
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Oh, King James.
Just 1 second, please. Just 1 second, please.
All right, thank you for letting me continue. Donna did not participate in the heinous acts that she was convicted of doing. You are sending an innocent woman to prison. You have taken my wife and you have taken my life as well. And for what? This is not justice. It is vengeance, and it is wrong.
Do you have an examination for Dr. Adelson?
No, Your Honor. No, Judge.
Any other witness statements that you would?
We don't have any further witnesses, Judge, but Mrs. Adelson has decided she would like to make an unsworn statement to the court.
Unsworn?
Yes, Judge.
Seeing in the case where it does state the defendant has a right to make an unsworn statement, we will proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Would you like Mrs. Adelson at the lectern or up here?
She can remain at council table.
Thank you. I'm going to move the microphone.
There is a lot of irony and very little genuine empathy in Harvey's statement. This was the sentencing of his wife Donna for the murder of their former son-in-law, Dan Markel, who was killed when he was only 41 years old. First, Harvey complained that the state presented government witnesses who lied in court without giving one example. He claimed that he did not know you could lie in court. The irony of that statement is unreal, as Harvey and his wife Donna were implicated in a scheme to hire witnesses to testify falsely in court in favor of Donna. There are many, many more ironies, of course. The defense's initial theory was that Charlie was guilty, that the state can't prove that, but that Donna had nothing to do with the murder or with paying for the murder. The check she wrote to Katie, well, that was on Charlie's order. He owned the clinic at the time. Yet at trial, the state introduced evidence of Donna's texts and emails where she claimed to friends and family, when her son Charlie Adelson was testifying about his extortion defense, where Donna exclaimed that the truth was finally out. So in the beginning of her trial, her lawyer claimed that Charlie did it. In essence, he lied in court. But in text during Charlie's trial, Donna had adopted her son's, Charles Adelson, unbelievable extortion story as the truth. When Harvey got more specific about who lied in court, he fumbled big time. He accused the Markels of lying about not seeing the Dan Markel boys for years, which is a well-established fact. He claimed that he had seen videos and letters from Wendy showing the Markels visiting the boys, but no one disputes that visitations were allowed up to 2016, at least until the time that the Adelsons were exposed, and that soon after Wendy cut off contact between the boys and the Markels until 2022, about 6 years later. Then afterwards, she has allowed some limited contact, but on her own terms. That is what the Markels said, and nothing that Harvey said disproves what they said. Harvey changed what the Markels supposedly said, then called that changed version a lie. In other words, he lied in court. I guess he figured out that he can do that too, right? He and Donna could have instead taken a different approach. If they wanted to preserve the fiction that Donna was not involved in the murder, they could have explained why Donna learned in 2014 that Katie knew who killed her grandson's father, Dan Markel, but Donna did not inform anyone about it, not even law enforcement or even the Markels. Maybe they could explain their 2016 statement via lawyers, which denied any Adelson involvement in the murder, and why, during her opening statements, her lawyer admitted that Charlie was involved. They could have expressed sorrow and regret that their own son had the audacity to choose to murder his nephew's father, that their own son chose the hitman option as a way to solve a family problem that, in their words, they had already all moved on from. They could have explained why they messed up so badly in 2016 when the killers were arrested in not helping the cops then, and in not having their lawyers help them secure proof that Charlie had been extorted through Katie, such as obtaining a recorded statement or affidavit from Katie. Instead, they chose a fanciful fiction that a biased judge and a biased jury, all influenced by one-sided media coverage, convicted a pure and innocent grandmother who devoted her entire life to her husband, her kids, and her grandkids, who only had the children move to their South Beach luxury apartment immediately after the murder, and who then went on to become a full-time parent to those boys. Not because that is what she wanted all along, but because she had to sacrifice herself to fill the huge void in the boys' life caused by the tragic murder of their father, Dan Markel, which he had nothing to do with. Defending the despicables is just that, adopting a bunch of fanciful fictions. Thanks for watching Mentor Lawyer. Now, regarding the latest blunder in the Donna Adelson case, on Tuesday, November 4, 2025, one of Donna's trial lawyers finally filed a notice of appeal, the document required to start Donna's appeal. However, the attorney attached to the notice the wrong judgment and sentence. You see, Judge Everett had originally entered the judgment and sentence on October 13, 2025. However, on October 24, 2025, Judge Everett on his own entered an amended corrected order that corrected a misspelling of Catherine Magbanua's name. She was mentioned with respect to where Donna should be placed with the Department of Corrections. So instead of attaching the corrected judgment, the defense attached the incorrect one, the original one that contained the error. Oh well. Thanks for watching. Yours truly, Mentor Lawyer. Stay tuned for more updates on the Dan Markel murder case and on other cases that we follow right here on Deep Dive True Crime or Mentor Lawyer Justice Network or Mentor Lawyer Justice Team. Until next time, Mentor Lawyer.